Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into the very start of a new science project. We're following two students, Kesser and Steen, who are just kicking off a huge deep dive into air quality with their supervisor, Professor Hendricks.
And the whole thing started from a very relatable place.
Oh, yeah.
Steen's mother, she was constantly seeing these poor air quality forecasts and getting worried about the health effects,
Right. Things like asthma or even more serious respiratory issues.
Exactly. So for them, this data suddenly became, really personal right from the get-go.
And their starting points were, well, they were completely different.
Polar opposites, really. You have Kesser, who wanted this very methodical approach.
The logbook, the careful data collection.
Yep. And then Steen just sort of jumped right in.
Straight to the internet.
Which created this kind of zigzag path, but it was actually a really exciting start.
And that zigzag approach paid off pretty quickly, didn't it?
It did. He found this global air quality map and got an immediate baseline. He looked up Calgary Lake Bonavista specifically.
And the reading?
Ideal. It literally said, ideal for most individuals. Enjoy your normal outdoor activities. That's the gold standard they were measuring against.
But the reality in their own backyard was a bit different.
A lot different. The local air quality index, the AQI, was a poor 58. And that's where you start to peel back the layers.
So what was in that poor air?
The sources point to two main things. First, nitrogen dioxide, or NO2. It was high, also at 58. That's a gas that's really damaging to your respiratory system.
Okay. And the seconds?
Fine particulate matter, PM2.5.
And a 2.5 refers to the size, right?
Exactly. It's tiny, smaller than 2.5 microns, which means it can get into the deepest parts of your lungs and even into your bloodstream.
Wow. So that's the stuff that causes the really serious long-term health problems.
That's the invisible threat. And then you have the bigger stuff, too, the PM10 particles.
Like heavy dust or ash, things you might actually see.
And this is where Kesser had a really sharp insight early on.
What do you notice?
He was looking at the air quality readings between two cities right next to each other, and the difference was small.
Which is counterintuitive. You'd think the pollution would just drift over.
Right. If it was just local transmission, you'd expect the numbers to be almost identical. But the small difference suggested the source wasn't the city next door.
It had to be coming from somewhere else.
Somewhere much, much further away.
So they had to zoom out, way out.
And that's when it gets really interesting. They looked at the world map and saw this huge plume of poor air quality stretching over Africa.
Which led them to a new hypothesis.
Saharan sand. They were potentially seeing dust that had traveled across an entire ocean.
That's incredible. We're not just talking about smog anymore. We're talking about a global atmospheric highway.
And this isn't just dirt. Saharan dust carries phosphor, which acts as a fertilizer all over the world. It connects their local air quality to, well, global geochemistry.
That must have been the moment the project just blew wide open for them.
I think so. And that's when Professor Hendricks stepped in with some key advice.
What was that?
He told them to really dig into what generates the different sizes of particulate matter that the instruments were picking up.
To understand the source of the PM components themselves.
Exactly. And at the same time, Steen's mom's concerns brought the focus right back home.
To the great indoors.
Yeah. And of course, AI-triggered ads for air purifiers started popping up everywhere.
Which, I mean, their job is pretty simple, right? They pull particles like dust, pollen, and smoke out of the air.
And they can dramatically improve indoor air quality. The key is the HEPA filter for those tiny particles we were talking about.
But it's not a magic bullet. You can't just plug one in and forget it.
No, not at all. They work best in smaller, closed rooms, and you have to use them with other things like good ventilation and regular vacuuming.
And they found some really practical high-stakes advice, too.
Yeah, about what to do during a major smoke event, like the Chance Harbor fire mentioned in the sources.
What's the protocol there?
The recommendation was to turn off your air exchangers or mini-split heat pumps.
Because they would just pull all that smoke from outside right into the house.
And completely defeat the purpose of your indoor filter.
So in just this first lesson, Kesser and Steen have gone from local data to global dust storms and all the way back to how to manage it in their living room.
It's an amazing start. They've really uncovered layer after layer of complexity already.
Absolutely. And this is just lesson 1 of their deep dive.
So if you're following along with their investigation, make sure you subscribe to see where they go next.
And we'll leave you with a provocative thought. Based on everything we've talked about, the big visible dust versus the tiny invisible particles, if you had to design an air quality study, what would you prioritize? Would you track the big stuff, the PM10, or would you focus on the invisible, harder-to-filter components like NO2 and